everybody. It is Sunday night, May 7th, and it is going to be the night that we chose to do one of the scheduled podcasts. We're going to do them Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. Now, one of the things that the team has granted me a little wiggle room on is fill-in nights. So if I feel something or there's something in the news I want to talk about, or just the urge hits me, yeah, we can go ahead and do them. And it's not like I work for a bunch of crazy people that are thumb on me all the time. It's quite the opposite. They give me a lot of freedom, which is what I think we're all after. That's what this whole campaign's about, is freedom. So last week when I said, oh, this one was unscheduled and I'm unsupervised, that was true. But it wasn't that I was going outside the bounds. I wasn't breaking any rules of the campaign or anything like that. It was the team loved it and thinks that I should do more off-the-cuff stuff like that. So I will. But for the time being, we're going to schedule them every Sunday and every Wednesday. So tonight's episode, bigger isn't always better. What does that mean? So here's what it means to me. As a company grows, the distance between the top and the bottom grows with it. That's the nature of the beast. As you add more people, of course you have less time to talk from the top to the bottom. You start off with 3 people, 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom, however you want to do it. As you add more people, as you scale up, that distance grows. And you add more people in between because you have a limited capacity for management. As that continues, that layer in between becomes more important, and you start to lean on your people in between you and the actual happenings in your business, and you lose touch with what's really going on. And that's a danger. Well, suddenly you're surrounding yourself with people that really want to make you happy because they have great lives, and they tend to be more yes people. They don't always give it to you straight because they fear the repercussions and they like their jobs. So suddenly this growth, which is good, has become something maybe not so good. It can be, but it isn't always. And right now I'm seeing a trend of it isn't always more than it can be. So now we've got the guy at the top, guy, gal at the top, and we've got all of us worker bees at the bottom. And in the middle, we've got the buffer zone to the top. And that buffer zone becomes an echo chamber. Always telling the top, well, it might be a little bit tough right now, but it's fine. We'll take care of it. We'll get it. Well, then the top hears this and says, okay, where's my return? How come we're not making as much money as you said we would? And this machination, instead of going to the shop, or going to whatever, going to your people that you started with at the very bottom and saying, what's going on? What do you see? You rely on those people in the middle. And those people in the middle become quite a bureaucracy. And they work together and they have all these meetings and they do all these really important things and they put out these important PowerPoints and then they decide to have some more meetings. Okay. And nothing gets done. Nothing positive happens sometimes. And I see that. The echo chamber grows with the size of the company. Let's extrapolate that to the government. Excuse me. Now, look at the size of the government. It's bigger than it's ever been. Do you think it's efficient? Do you think it's effective? No. Do you think there's layers and layers and layers of people between the top, the president, and the rest of us that he was supposed to serve? That's what the Constitution said. The government was supposed to serve us. That has since changed. We are not working for the government. We were never supposed to be, but we are now. And that echo chamber and that layer of bureaucracy in the middle is bigger than it's ever been. The government and corporations have a trait that is very similar and very scary. As they grow, they consume other companies and they consume other things. They centralize their power. So instead of being all states' rights, where there's 50 different companies under one umbrella, there may be 50 subsidiaries now. They're not individual companies anymore. The government, the federal government, sees them as revenue generating subsidiaries of itself. It has usurped the Constitution and decided to take on all this power for itself. Corporations do the same thing. They want to stay at the top. You have to grow or you die in business. That's a fact. To try to stay the same size doesn't work. It just doesn't. Not long term. Not if you want to stay around and be viable. So as these corporations, as these banks fail, and another big bank buys them up, they consolidate that power. Now the banks, these big 3 banks, big 4 banks, suddenly they start buying up regional banks. And now they have a significant amount of influence. We don't, because all of a sudden our options are gone. They now have a significant amount of influence with the government because there are no options for banking. But in the same token, the government has a significant influence over those banks because they know they can't do anything else either. They're too big. They're not dynamic. It sounds like I'm picking on banks, and I don't mean to. There's oil companies. Look at gas stations, mom and pop gas stations. Look at all the different gas station brands there used to be. And look how few there are now. Medical's the same way. Look how many small town hospitals there used to be. A regional hospital would buy them up, decide they weren't profitable, regardless of the service they provided to their area. Oh, this one's not making us any money. Shut it down. Not sell it. Shut it down. It's cheaper to do that. Now they have to come to our center, which is now 50 miles away. Maybe inconvenient, cost a few lives. It's okay. Our profit margins are still good and we can still provide care. They just have to travel a little bit further. Tech, pharma, the same. Again, as all these companies consolidate their power, they are trying to solidify their stature and their status. Now the government makes it super easy for the government to take over, take charge. Say, okay, this is how we're going to do business. And these companies have no say, so they pay for influence. Now we're in a vicious circle. The big companies pay the government so that they can play in the game, and the small entry people can't get in because they don't have the influence. They don't have the lever. They don't have the lever called money. Big corporations and the government have become far too cozy. The handshake relationship is way too serious. That scares the hell out of me. It should scare the hell out of you. When you have corporations working hand in hand with government, there's a name for that. It's not good. People in government, federal government, I'll say that for sure, certainly like to be there for a reason. It's not for service anymore. It's for financial gain. Now, there might be some pure hearts, and there's a few of us out there that start with this pie in the sky, this dream of, I'm going to go there and change it. Something happens, and I don't know what it is, and I intend to find out after the election when we get there. But I want to know where this influence and why it can't be broken. And my dad always said every man has his price, and I haven't met mine yet, thankfully. But I'm curious to see what this is all about and share it with all of you. Share it with the entire country, even the people that don't vote with us. Because I think people will be shocked, surprised, and disappointed. That's a lot of gloom and doom for the first 9 minutes. Here's the good stuff. This is what I saw. This is a silly example maybe, but it's pretty easy to demonstrate with. When the price of eggs went crazy, and they were over $5-6 a dozen, that's a big increase. A lot of people use eggs as a foundational piece of their diet. One of the things that brought me back to this is America, and we're Americans, and we're in this together, is looking at the small farmer. And you look at the people that raise chickens and sell eggs, and they do it with good food, better areas for their chickens. It's a healthier egg. They didn't jack their prices. They had to raise their prices over time because feed has gone up, electricity's gone up. This inflation thing is real. And it was caused by too much spending. We'll get into that in another podcast. But these good farmers, these good people, their eggs didn't go to $5 and $6 a dozen. They didn't change them. And there were some people that said, hey, I know people with families are struggling. If you need a dozen eggs, come and see me, and we'll give them to you. That's America. That's how we do it. We have to get back to that foundational thing of we're Americans and we work together. And I said it before, we don't just solve problems, we overwhelm them. We have some problems and we have to work together on to fix them. But we can. And that little egg example, I could see the signs on the side of the road, eggs here, if you need help, stop. I love that. That's who we are as a country. I still believe that. I still believe the bulk of us are like that. Help your neighbor if you can. Even if it makes it a little bit harder for you, makes it a lot easier for somebody else. I love that. I'm going to wrap this up here shortly, but I really want to say something. This is a piece of this campaign that's so important. We can't be bought. That's the nice part, because this is a true grassroots campaign. This whole thing is predicated on millions of us getting together and saying, we're going to get this thing back. It's not going to be 10 corporate donors or 10 billionaires, whatever it is it takes to get to the White House. It's not going to be that. It's going to be millions of people contributing time, effort, money, all the stuff it needs to get this thing over the top. That's why I think we're going to be the strongest campaign. That's why I think we're going to be the strongest team, because we're going to have actual millions of people vested in this. And it's going to be something that they'll write in the books about someday, about how we all got together and said, that's enough. And I am excited to read that book someday. I'll leave this thing here. The corporation piece of it. We need to start looking at what's important. Is it the bottom line? Of course it is. But what's the most important part? If you had no people working for you, your bottom line would be zero. And if you just want to be a service business, you want to be the new industry, the new, what do you call it, new economy type of business, well, it doesn't work. Not forever. We have to bring business back to the United States. We can't farm everything out and remain top dog. We just can't. Is it going to be more expensive? Okay. Yeah, it is. Because we treat our people well. We care about our people. The competition doesn't. They don't care about the environment. They don't care about the people. The competition's China. They're building coal-fired energy plants faster than we can build a solar panel. So don't think that they're playing fair. And they don't treat their people well either. So don't be fooled by that. So let's do this. When you go to work tomorrow, look around. See what you can learn from your fellow worker. See what you can learn from upper management. Try to put a value on what's most important to you. And if you're upper management, take a second look. Is it the people with all the pieces of paper they bought from a college or university all stacked up that are really doing the work for your business, or is it the people at the bottom? Is it a combination of both? Are you surrounded by good people? If not, what can you do to make it better? What can you do to make other people's lives better? Because if you do that, yours automatically becomes better. We're not all the same. We're not all going to earn the same. That's not what I'm saying at all. Earn your money, earn your keep, and do what you can to help your fellow person, fellow man, fellow woman. And the same with the government. When we get there, we are going to tear it down to the constitutional bare bones. It's going to take a while. It's not going to be easy. People are going to fight it because it's an awful good spot up there from what I can see. People get awful rich and awful comfy. That's why they fight so hard to keep these spots. U.S. representatives, U.S. senators. If you don't go in a millionaire and you come out a millionaire, there's something wrong with our system. There's where that hand-in-hand beach walk between corporate America and the government is. We need to break that down. Let the corporations do their thing, make money, make products, build the things our country needs, and the government, Let's protect our borders, protect our corporations, and make things fair. So if we keep it fair, keep everybody safe, make sure everybody has a job, a good one, I think we'll be in fine shape. This was a longer one because it was important. Some of the more important topics will take a little bit longer, and we'll go deeper into detail as we get down the campaign trail. There's lots of things to talk about. Everybody wants to talk about their thing right now. I have to go in an order. I mean, I can wiggle around a little bit, but I'm going to go with the way I want to go. I have a plan. I'm going to stick to it. And if you're not top on the list of issues or things, hang in there. We'll get to it. I promise. So, with all that being said, it is a beautiful Sunday night. It has been rainy and shitty all day, but at about 7:30, the sun has decided to crack out. So I'm going to walk down to the lake, throw some rocks in, maybe do a little bit of rock skipping, see if I can get the elbow back in shape for the championship. Enjoy your family. Enjoy your day tomorrow. Enjoy your week. We'll talk on Wednesday. If you have questions, please feel free. Sign up at info@chowan2024.org. Please follow us on all the social media and share the living bejesus out of this stuff. It is working. We are making so many connections. It's amazing. So thank you. Most above all, thank you all for all of your help, all your support. The shares are helping. Please keep doing it, and I'll keep doing this. Thanks so much. Have a great night.